dog, one child, one youth, one dog, you think big, you. Together we can do this in our continent, you. Think big, you. I say one dog, one child, one youth, one dog, you. Think big, you. Together we can do this in our continent, you. Think big, you.
Good morning. It is Monday, the 3rd of April, 2023. It's 5:58 in the morning on certain parts or section or region of Africa. This is Chief Abundance. I want to appreciate again the Director of Training and the trainer that took over on Saturday. Your pipeline can ended up be your lifeline. That was the message. It is a message that encompasses our ability to visualize the end from the beginning. It is a message that should motivate us to rethink the way we do things. It was a message for us to move to another level of understanding, another level of experience, another level of expectation, another level of gathering different information so that we can produce different results. It was a training that should whip us into a different person, into different inputs, so that we can have different outputs. And so I want to thank Dr. Bose for so ably presented part 2 of part 1, of which you have to listen to both. It is very important because when you don't listen to this training, when you don't listen to any audios or videos that have been made in the community, then you come up out of sheer ignorance on the platform with empty utterances. And so that's why some of the times you don't even get any attention from the admins, because you actually do not know what TAC mission and vision is about. I've said in the community before that we cannot use short-term solutions to solve long-term problems. We cannot use short-term solutions to solve long-term problems. Our financial dilemma or quagmire, our financial artificial scarcity that we now experience, we did not introduce it. Our grandparents did not introduce the model. Our great-grandparents did not introduce the system. They met the system in place. It is a system that is now going for nearly 500 years. And you think that you're going to break the World Bank, the IMF, the UN, UNICEF, the World Health Organization, all these criminal organizations that exist. You think you're going to break those powers in high and wicked places that is controlled by the 1%. You think that you're going to get up overnight after a bottle of rum or a bottle of Hennessy and solve that problem? You think that you're going to jump in to something that you put 5,000 in that guarantees or tell you that if you put 5,000 you will get 20,000 in 2 months. You think that is the way you're going to solve long-term problems? You think that is how we are going to serve? Except you don't have the mindset to create generational changes. Except you do not have the mindset to leave a heritage for your children's children. Because that is what the script says. And a lot of you here, even not 100%, are church goers. And so what are you then? Are you just warmers of the pews or hearers of the word but not doers? Deceiving your own self? Because that's what the script says. Oh, if you're just showing up for the sake of showing up, to show your dress or to show your shoes or your hairstyle, or to show that you can afford things, if that is what you're going for, the gatherings in churches, well, it's fine. Oh, it is fine. But if you're saying that you're supposed to become the word, because that's what it is. If you're supposed to be the word that people can see, then what are they seeing? Is that a reflection of the word? You are deceiving and you're fooling yourself and you're making a mockery of the infinite. That is what that means. When he says that I am the infinite and I cannot be mocked, because whatsoever you sow, you shall reap. Isn't that what you're reaping? You're not mocking him. Because the lifestyle that you're living is a total mockery of the infinite. When you leave the church and you have to disturb your neighbors, when you leave the pews and you have to go out there begging, you are a mockery. You are mocking the infinite. Didn't he not say that you supposed to be the head and not the tail? Did he not say that you should be the lender and not the borrower? And so if you are the borrower, and if you are the beggar and the disturber of those who have, you tell me, isn't that a mockery? Because you cannot represent the infinite with poverty. You tell me who has done it in the past. You cannot. Let's not fool ourselves. And so who do you represent? That's what the scripture says, that you're taking his name in vain. That's what it is. And he will not hold you guiltless. He will not hold you guiltless that taketh his name in vain. You say you are who you are. Then let me see now. Because everything that is written, if we follow it, because the blueprint of financial freedom is in Genesis already. Genesis already told you. And that is what the franchise around the world are using. And so I need to refresh a lot of you on Genesis economic module, how we should multiply, how we should control. And what does that mean financially for us? And so some of you now have entered into wealth around you, beneath you, above you, but you cannot discern because you're looking for a quick fix, short-term solution to solve long-term problems. It will not happen. You are fooling yourself. You have to be hard on yourself now in the beginning. You have to make the sacrifice now in the beginning so that you can enjoy fineness in the end. I've always mentioned that at the beginning, you will do a lot of things that you will not get paid for. But if you remain persistent and consistent, you will get paid for a lot of things that you would not have done. I've also said that your conviction and your dream, your conviction, what is it that convicts you? What is it that drives you? What is it that makes you get up in the morning to rush out to work? What it is? We have a community. We give instructions, simple instructions, as was given by the Infinite. Cast your net on the other side. Instructed. Peter was given the instruction, just cast your net on the other side. He did not tell him to go and make another net. He did not tell him to go pray and fast for another 40 days. He said, just cast your net. He told the Phoenician woman, I think the widow with that child, what do you have in your house? How many vessels? Bring every one of them and start to pour oil. That's what he says. These things were never done before. Never done before. He said, just go around the wall 7 times and blow your trumpet. That's all it takes. And watch the Infinite at work. The thing is, we want our arrogance and proudness, and may I add emptiness, boastfulness has stopped us, and our ignorance have stopped us from experiencing wealth. That's what it is, pure ignorance, because we must take the praise. We cannot do anything unless the world knows. We're just like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. When they pray, the Infinite says that they have to be seen by others. When they fast, they have to come out with the we call it yampy in their eyes, the coal in their eyes, or the face crease for men to see that they were fasting. But isn't that what the Infinite says? That they shall have their reward. They're going around with bells on their clothes. So as they walk, they draw attention to others. That's what the Bible talks about. The arrogance and the boastfulness and the emptiness that we go around, deceiving our own selves, making a mockery every week, disgracing the Infinite, begging when we are supposed to be the salt of the earth. We are supposed to be the one that gives, the lender and not the borrower. But we have to change our mindset. We have to change our mindset. And the system that brought us up will not change it. I said the system that brought us this far, both systems and the people to which you now look up to, they will not change your narrative. They did not change your father's and mother's narrative, and they're born and they have now died. They did not change your grandparents' narrative, nor your great-grandparents' narrative. The system did not do it. Do you expect the system to do it for you? Look at what happened the other day with COVID. COVID shows you that your governments of your country do not control you. The control comes from the 1%. They speak to the UN body. They speak to WHO. WHO say social distancing. Who are you to say no? WHO say you need to quarantine. Who are you to say no? WHO say you need to take vaccine. Vaccine that never went to no child. Vaccine that was used on human being for child. Vaccine that should have used on pigs and birds and insects were now used on human being, and you cannot claim because they have already indemnified the doctors and the hospitals. Yes, the criminals have already indemnified. And so you are labeled as a guinea pig. You are labeled as a guinea pig. And so every death from COVID went for nothing. You cannot challenge the wickedness in high places. That is what we're dealing with here. These are the people that sets the rule for the world to follow. And you know why? Because they have money. And so when they speak, all bodies around the world listen. They listen. And so that is what we're going up against. You think this is a small play? It's not a small play. All right, so I was going to talk about the Diasporan City today and the incentive and recommendation. I mean, just from, general, this is not coming from any committee. Persons are giving their own ideas, which is not a bad idea. But I will share them in our next, in my next audio. This is Chief Abundance. Good morning.